see how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got...
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team. Before we start the show, let's play this real quick. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic one.
I understand what's happening. We're all speaking the same language, right? We might not be able to communicate, but if somebody get their ass kicked, nothing's lost in translation. I understand what's happening. We're all speaking the same language, right? We might not be able to communicate, but if somebody get their ass kicked, nothing's lost in translation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. If you guys don't know who that is Anthony Campanile, which is the candidate that completely came out of left field today. And this candidate has Arizona Cardinals fans right now absolutely buzzing, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you, man, this guy very, very much reminds me of Sylvester Stallone and Rocky Balboa, the way he talks and the way he just does whatever the hell he does. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of Cardinal fans right now that are salivating at the thought of potentially bringing him in, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen, smack up the like button here on your way in. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We are on the road to 19K. Cannot do it without you guys, so I appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. Shout out to Brandon, Naeem, Zay, Daniel in the chat, John, DDR. What's up, y'all? The best community out there right now is rocking with me today. I appreciate you guys. I was supposed to do a live stream earlier, a live podcast like I usually do in the mornings, but time got away from me. A lot of different things was happening here with obviously the Cardinals, and I'm trying to expand throughout older social medias, Instagram, yes, TikTok too, and then X/Twitter. So I've been very, very busy from the morning. So we're going to be continuing the morning podcast, but this time around we moved it over to the afternoon hour because I had a little bit of time to obviously talk some Cardinals. And of course, I wanted to jump on the mic, ladies and gentlemen, and talking all things Anthony Campanile, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that are very, very much buzzing about this guy right now. Now, rightfully so. I mean, if you believe he deserves buzz, or do you think it's just one of those things where you ended up hearing a clip out there, which is like a 2-minute clip when he was the linebackers coach of the Miami Dolphins, and you probably fell in love with the fire in the gut? Did you take the buzz, right? This actually screams fire in the gut. But like, this is not one of those things where somebody just says something and you're like, oh yeah, you know, no, this is legit. Like, this guy means business. This absolutely means business. Now, I've heard a few people out there whenever it comes down to Anthony Campanile, Campanile, I'm sorry, Campanile, they really like him. A lot of Cardinals fans really, really do like him. I've been looking through all social media, and it's so funny because I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, this clip that I'm going to be playing a longer portion right now in a few seconds. Now, obviously, I apologize about the curse words. This guy throws F-bombs like left and right. Now, whether you like that or you don't like that, that is going to be what you're going to be listening here, because it's going to be like a 30-second clip that I'm going to be playing. But this is a realistic 2-minute clip that he just kind of goes off on a tangent. And I really do like what he says at the end of the day. But I'm going to be diving into that here in a little later on. But I kid you not, I made a post about Anthony on my Instagram, and I got 155 likes. And the post that I actually posted was the Raheem Morris before. So I first posted Raheem Morris about really waiting to see what the Cardinals are going to do, because it seems like he wants the job. And I'm talking about Raheem Morris, former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I ended up making that post, and everybody liked it. Everybody was like, oh, sweet, hell yeah. Like, that seems cool. I kid you not, it was probably like 5 minutes apart. The Raheem Morris post had about 410 likes. I'm like, okay, that's pretty respectable, right? On Instagram, pretty respectable. The Anthony Campanile, the first one I put was 155 likes, and everybody in the chat was like, oh God, here we go again. This sucks. What are the Cardinals doing? We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. What are the Cardinals doing? And then I made another post with linking that clip that everybody's talking about right now. And I kid you not, this thing has over 600 likes on this specific post, literally next to the one that I posted about an interview. And this is the guy that is as close as a for sure candidate as it gets. And the biggest reason why I say that is because the only other guy that we heard that it was going to get a second interview by the Arizona Cardinals was Robert Saleh. Well, at least as of right now, he's the only guy that we heard of that was going to get a second interview was Robert Saleh. Now, we know what happened with the Tennessee Titans. They ended up swooping him up, right? Tennessee Titans, like a thief in the night, and pretty much signed him to a contract, rightfully so. Now, Anthony Campanile is the newest rage right now when it comes down to Arizona Cardinals fans. Now, like I said before, viewer discretion is advised, but I'm going to be playing a little bit of a longer clip right now of what he was saying. It's going to be just audio, so if you got some kids in the room, cover their ears. This is not even the full length of it all, but let's dive into what when he was the linebacker coach at the Miami Dolphins. This is Anthony Campanile. Let's check it out.
I can go to Greece and somebody start getting their fucking ass whooped. We all understand what's happening. Okay, we're all speaking the same language, right? We might not be able to communicate, but if somebody getting their ass kicked, nothing's lost in translation. Okay? All over the world, they speak ass whooping.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All over the world, everybody knows ASS whooping, right? All over the world, they know ASS whooping. Man, honestly, I didn't have this guy on my list at all. And I could admit that, is there a person that potentially like completely went under my radar? Yeah, potentially. But I honestly think right now, Arizona Cardinals fans, right, or people here in the chat, this is a real big potential here. This is a real big potential for the Arizona Cardinals to potentially bring in. Now, there are other teams that interviewed him as well, right? The Cardinals aren't the only ones that interviewed him. I believe the Ravens were also in on it as well. I think there's another one, but we're not the only ones in on a Anthony Campanile. And honestly, what I could say right now is I love it. I really love the fire. This is the fire in the gut that I thought we were going to get from Jonathan Gannon right here. This is the fire in the gut that I thought we were going to get from Jonathan Gannon. And we just never got that. We just never got that. The one time he had fire in the gut, unfortunately, he ends up hitting Damari DiMercato on the chest. And whether you like it or you don't like it, whatever side of the fence you are on in that situation, the circumstances are the circumstances. He had to apologize. The Arizona Cardinals made him apologize for what happened, and he lost his temper. And biggest reason as to why he's seen as a stoic guy, right? Jonathan Gannon crosses his hands. It doesn't matter if they score a touchdown or if they have 2 fumbles, right? Or they turned over the ball. This is all he's doing all the whole time. I'm actually very curious to figure out how this man is going to be doing as a head coach. Now, like I said, I had a lot of back and forth with some people in the chat. I'm sorry, not in the chat, in the social media world, mainly X/Twitter. Instagram, there's a lot more positivity on Instagram than there is on X/Twitter, but there are some people out there saying that the brash act, the East Coast act is not going to work in this market. And I said, I mean, as long as he wins, I don't care. I don't care if he's brash. I don't care if he has a F-bombs every other. I don't care. As long as he wins, that's all I care about. I'm looking for a winner is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a game changer, a culture changer is what I'm looking for, right? And can we not forget one of our best head coaches, Bruce Arians, had a mouth like a sailor. Bruce Arians had a mouth like a sailor, ladies and gentlemen. So let's not sit and act like here, like we're all, all good, gung-ho. You know what I mean? Like, no, man, this is football. This is a blood sport. And if it works with the team, it works with the team. I care about wins. That's my more important thing right now. I'm looking for a culture changer. Now, is this going to be one of those guys that a lot of Cardinal fans probably won't be on board? Well, like I said before, right? I made the original post, and a lot of people didn't seem to be on board until I showed them the clip. when I showed him the clip about what he said, oh, that got everybody's fire going. Ladies and gentlemen. We do got some super chats piling up. Let me go ahead and get to these super chats. A lot of them are piling up. We got 3 of them right now. We got Looney Bird. 2 super chats coming our way. What's up, Looney? Thank you so very much for being here. He says, let him kick ASS and this team's ASS. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Dude. Honestly, I'm not gonna shy away from a little F-bombs here and there. Hell no, I'm not gonna shy away. If he wins his games, this is probably the candidate that a lot of Cardinal fans right now they're a little hesitant, and I get the hesitancy, right? A guy that has no head coaching experience, and with what we thought we were going to get after Gannon, it seems like the Cardinals are doing the same thing over and over again. But let's call it like it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Arizona Cardinals organization right now, they can't buy themselves an experienced coach right now. Like, nobody wants to come here. Absolutely nobody does. The John Harbaughs, the Sean McDermott's of the world, right? They don't want to come here. They don't want to come here. Mike Tomlin is taking a year off. He probably saw the Cardinals there and was like, I'm going to take a year off. They don't want to come here. So what we have to adapt to is hopefully we can get that diamond in the rough, and hopefully we can get that one guy that's going to be our next Bruce Arians, right? And when Bruce Arians got hired, I don't think a lot of people were very excited about that. Let's be real. Let's not forget that a lot of people weren't excited about the Bruce Arians hire, and hey, it worked out, right? Campanile is, 43 years old, spent a lot of time in college, a lot of time in Rutgers, Boston College, Michigan for a year, the Miami Dolphins for 3 years as a linebacker coach, the Packers in 2024 as a linebacker coach and the run game coordinator, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2025 to present. So it's only been 1 year as a defensive coordinator. Am I worried about that? I am. I'm a little worried about that, but the circumstances are the circumstances. The Arizona Cardinals right now are in a situation where I'm not saying you got to run to make your decision, but if they see something in him, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Let's get with Looney Bird. Looney Bird, second super chat, back to back. This time a $5 donation. Appreciate you, man. Another one coming our way.
Another one.
All right, Looney Bird says this. Let's effing go. Detroit couch came out raw on the head coach press conference. Why not us? Let's effing go. About time we get a raw killer besides BA. Boom. There you go. I'm not going to say this guy reminds me of BA, but he's as close as it gets to Bruce Arians as I would say out there, right? Bruce Arians was brash. Bruce Arians had a no F mentality. That's what Bruce Arians had. And I'm not trying to sell you the idea that this is going to be the next Messiah and the next Bruce Arians. No, I'm not trying to sell that. But right now, the Arizona Cardinals have only 2 known coaches that they were going through the next round, into the second round, right? In terms of the face-to-face interview. And one of them was Robert Saleh. He didn't want to come here. We wanted to do the Tennessee Titans. That's what he decided to do. And the next one is this guy, right? Anthony Campanile. Now, the original report that I ended up seeing here was from, I believe, was it Adam? No, it wasn't Adam Schefter. It was Ian Rappaport. Ian Rappaport had the original report that came out that made me kind of open my eyes, right? 7 hours ago, Ian Rappaport reported the Arizona Cardinals are bringing in Jacksonville Jaguars defensive coordinators Anthony Campanile for a second in-person interview tomorrow for the head coach position. Sources say he's flying in tonight. So if anybody's at Sky Harbor, look out for Anthony Campanile out there, ladies and gentlemen. Jacksonville was spurred in part by Campanile's unit, number 1 against the run. AZ gets another look. So, and one thing I will say is that there is interest. I believe the team is the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, that were interested in him. And yes, it was the Ravens. Yep. The Ravens are also interested in him as well. So it's not like the Cardinals kind of threw a Hail Mary out there and like, okay, let's interview you. No, there's other teams that are interested. There's other teams that are interested right now in his services. And if the Cardinals like what they hear tomorrow, maybe, just maybe, he goes into the next round, or we see some breaking news tomorrow And then we're all on board with the potential Italian stallion. I'm not going to call him Italian stallion. That's Rocky Balboa. But potentially, right? Potentially. Jose in the chat. We got another $1.99 donation coming our way. What's up, Jose? Thank you so very much for the donation. He's saying this: just hire me at this point, Mike. You'll be my OC. Well, I'm down with that. Honestly, I've said this once and I'll say it again. I don't even need to be an OC. All I need to be is in there when the decisions are being made so I can go ahead and report it. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. But realistically, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is what the Cardinals are probably going to go after. And I'm not saying him. I'm not saying Anthony Campanile. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the type of coach the Cardinals are probably going to go after. We put our hand in the John Harbaugh cookie jar. He want nothing to do with it. Although we had an extensive phone call with him, right? Extensive phone call with him. He wants nothing to do with this. There was a report that came out that Sean McDermott wants nothing to do with us. And even Tom Pelissero came out and said, yeah, I don't see the Arizona Cardinals as a potential suitor for a Sean McDermott, right? So for those people out there that are really hanging their hat on when are the Cardinals going to bring in Sean McDermott, I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. What I'm looking for more than anything is a leader of men. I'm looking for a guy that can come into an organization and change the living beep, you know what I want to say, out of that organization. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for, I mean, if he's a guru or if he's like a defensive mastermind, okay, perfect. That's a cherry on top of the ice cream. But I'm looking for a guy that's a difference maker. I'm looking for a guy that's a culture changer, right? Because although we want to give credit to Jonathan Gannon and for what he did in the first 2 years, things unraveled and it unraveled real quickly, right? It unraveled really quickly for him. Now, here's the big question out there. Here's the big question. If the Arizona Cardinals did go this direction, is it all, oh yeah, let's go, let's effing go? I mean, I'm happy that we finally made a decision, right? Because right now we're sitting on January 21st and we haven't made a decision yet. And then B, on the other side of the coin, I really do hope that there is a plan as to who he's going to bring in as his OC and his DC. Because I've been saying this multiple times and I'm going to keep bringing it up. What's equally important to me as to who we hire at the head coaching position, you got to make sure that there's a real good plan. So if he's a defensive guy, you get somebody that's a really good offensive mind, right? So Mike McDaniel, he's already gone. So for the people out there that wanted Mike McDaniel, he's gone. He's going with the Chargers. Barring any change of mind, he's going to go with the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh. And for the other guy, Brian Daboll, on the other hand, is at this very moment, I forgot. I think was it the Bills that? Well, he's got interest, but it's all offensive coordinator right now, right? So there's interest with Brian Daboll. It's just now we're going to have to figure out what are the Arizona Cardinals' plan if this is the dude, right? Now, of course, Kubiak is still on the top of my list right now. Am I a little swoon when I saw this video and I love the fire in the gut? Yeah, I mean, I was a little swoon. I was like, oh, snap. Okay, I'm listening. But right now, the top of my list is still Kubiak. But Kubiak is not available right now. He's not going to be available until Monday. And that's not even going to say, does he even want us, right? There's a lot of rumors out there that Kubiak probably would favor the Raiders over the Cardinals because of that first overall pick and the unknown that we have at quarterback. People don't know what we're going to do at quarterback right now. So Looney Bird in the chat, another one. Good God, this is the third one from Looney Bird. He is absolutely going ham in the chat.
Another one.
He's saying this: no matter the resume, if you're a leader of men, effing leader of men. This is what I'm looking for as well. Honestly, Looney Bird and me, all right, I feel like we're on the same page. This is what I'm looking for as well. A leader of men. I'm looking for a guy that can be an absolute culture changer is what I'm looking for, right? All the other little titles that you want to have it's just cherry on top of the ice cream. But he is responsible for making that defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is a really good defense, right? Let's not forget that the defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars is probably one of the best in the NFL. And I reached out to a guy that covers the Jaguars. One thing I will say, a lot of Jaguars fans don't want him gone. They do not want him gone. A lot of Jaguars fans want to retain Anthony Campanile in Jacksonville for what it's worth. And then this is what my guy told me, and I quote, every single player got better on the defense. And he is super inspiring leader. He's a super inspiring leader, is what my guy told me that covers the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, let's go. Let's go. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Jake in the chat, man. What's up, brother? Jake in the chat says, Mike, do you have fire in your... I mean, with him talking, maybe, just maybe. He's definitely adding it for sure. He's definitely adding it. I don't know if he's going to be the guy, but he's the first one to get that second interview right now. He's that second one right now to get that interview. Shout out to you, Jake, becoming a channel member for 13 months. Sheesh. Celebration, 13 months channel membership. Appreciate you, Jake. Thank you so much for being in the chat. Hey, man. Well, we've been hearing this whole time, right? Well, we've been hearing this whole time, man. Fire in the gut. This is the real fire in the gut right here, man. This is the real fire in the gut. Honestly, I'm not going to say he's on the top of my list, but if it happens, I wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't be mad at the slightest. I would not be mad at the slightest. Just like my guy Looney Bird in the chat says, no matter the resume, if you're a leader of men, effing leader of men. I love it. I love it. Another quick warning. If you have kids in the room, ear muffs. It's time.
I can go to Greece and somebody start getting their fucking ass whooped. We all understand what's happening. Okay, we're all speaking the same language, right? We might not be able to communicate, but if somebody getting their ass kicked, nothing's lost in translation. Okay? All over the world, they speak ass whooping.
All over the world, they speak it. Oh, man, I love it. I love it. Let's see what the Cardinals decide to do. He is the very few coach that we know of right now that's making to that second round, right? Salo was supposed to be up there. Didn't happen. We all know what happened with Tennessee. And now the Cardinals are going to meet with Anthony Campanile tomorrow. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what happens here. I do not see any other, as of right now, he probably is the one that is the newest when it comes down to, I guess, the latest report when it comes down to the Cardinals, who we're meeting with. Let me just do a real quick check. Like I said, I was out of the office for quite some time, for an hour or two, and things change up and down, right, when it comes down to it. So let me just do a double check. Yeah, I don't see any more Arizona Cardinals news as of right now. All I'm seeing is Anthony. Okay, cool. We're all caught up. I want to get a gauge on where your guys' overall thoughts are. Get a gauge on where your guys' overall thoughts are. Now, I also want to talk about what Jordan Schultz said today as well. Now, it's no shock, no surprise that Jordan Schultz ended up coming out and basically saying that the Arizona Cardinals are not going to take a swing. He doesn't expect the Arizona Cardinals to take a big swing because of obviously what he's seen. And I don't think anybody expects the Cardinals to take a big swing. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. So TBD, I want to go and make sure I give some love on over to the chat. You guys have been here rocking with me. Do me a massive favor, smack the like button here on your way in. Or if you guys haven't already smacked the like button, we're sitting with 30 likes with over 100 of you guys here on the YouTube side. I apologize. Close to 100 on the YouTube side. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Edgar in the chat saying all this hype, but we're still getting banned. Yeah, don't do that to me, man. Don't kill my vibe, man. Don't kill my vibe, Edgar. Don't kill my vibe. Anthony in the sorry, not Anthony. I apologize. Aaliyah in the chat says, "Dang, coach, he can talk." Absolutely. Mike, we are all like 20 years old. We good. I mean, sometimes people watch me on TV. So I've seen people out there send me screenshots that they're watching me in TV, right? Especially those post games that they got their kids. They got people watching and they got me on full blast. I'm just not trying to get parents mad at me. I'm a parent myself, so I don't want to get parents mad at me. So I just wanted to make sure I get the disclaimer of earmuffs there, just in case. Victor in the chat says Gannon 2.0. Wow. I don't know about that, man. I don't think any other organization was waiting for Gannon. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think any other organization was waiting for Gannon. I never even had Gannon on my list, if I'm going to be real with you. I did not have Gannon on my list for my top candidates to come here, right? It was almost interesting to see like when the Arizona Cardinals were waiting as long as they did, but I also did tell myself, oh, we just got Monty. He's trying to kind of, get up to speed and all this different stuff. So I was telling myself that, hey, it's probably going to take a little bit. But yeah, they were waiting for Gannon the whole time. And obviously after the Super Bowl, it came to find out we actually tampered with Gannon. And then we all know the history. We lost draft picks. But I don't know. I don't see this as a Gannon 2.0 personally, but I respect it. I respect what you're saying. Let me just I'm just doing it real quick because I know we weren't the only ones that were in on Anthony. Let me do a real quick double take. I just want to make sure that I'm not okay. Yep. So I said this earlier, and I'm gonna triple down on it. Yep. Ravens are also in on him as well. I think those are the only two right now that I'm seeing right now. Ravens and Cardinals are in on Anthony as of right now. There might be another one that I'm not seeing as of right now, but yeah, those are the two right now. I'm down, man. I'm down. We got another super chat sliding their way in. Jake, what's up, brother? Man, appreciate you, Jake. He says, Mike, I want to be a parent / dad advice. I won't forget. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Hey, if you're ever looking for dad advice or anything like that, come to me, man. It's a tough It's a tough job. It's the toughest job I've ever had to do. Becoming a parent. You have to have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of wisdom, which doesn't really come from me, more my wife. But yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Appreciate the 199 donation. Thanks, man. Let's keep it with the chat. Let's go with Looney Bird. Looney Bird on the chat says, nah, pre-Gannon, call it 0.5. Love it, love it. Victor says, I want a veteran coach. I'm tired of the first coaches. Haven't we learned? Well, this is a good call out, right? We mentioned this a little earlier, that I'm a little concerned with the thought of if we do go this direction, what is the plan, right? What's the plan in the instance that who are you bringing at OC? Who are you bringing at OC and who are you bringing at DC? Because that's equally important to who you bring in. If I look at, I guess, what he's been doing for his entirety of his career, like who he's been working with, what organizations he's been working with, what we know is that he's been working with the Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously, the Green Bay Packers, because he was a linebackers coach and the run game coordinator there in 2024. He also was in the Miami Dolphins as well from 2020 to 2023 as a linebackers coach. So what I would say is that if maybe somebody's with the Dolphins organization, the Packers organization, maybe even the Jaguars organization, maybe he has somebody that he's bringing from there. But that's what kind of worries me as well, right? The inexperience of all the coaches below you. That's what we got from Gannon, right? Gannon brought in Petzing. He brought in Rallis. He inherited Jeff Rodgers. And that just was I didn't want to touch that with a 6-foot pole. We should have known. But if that happens again with Anthony, I'm going to be a little worried there. But I don't know, man. There's something about that clip that makes me feel like if he talks, players will probably listen. Players will probably listen. Yes, smack the like button. Appreciate you. The Anthony Campanile and Kyler Murray relationship would be epic. Oh my goodness. Honestly, the way I feel about it is I don't even think that I think Kyler's gone. Like, and it's not even a hot take at this point, right? Like, we've been talking about Kyler Murray for what seems like forever now, right? We're just waiting for March at this point. Like, that's what we're waiting for. I just don't think he's coming back, man. I really don't. I could be wrong. Maybe he wants to keep him. You never know. You never know how it's going to shake out, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but that's a good call out. Looney Bird in the chat says Gannon was soft with the rest of the coaching staff. It did feel weird that like every time they were asked about how like their coaching style was, like the way they approached being a coach, it was really weird that they almost took the approach of, okay, here's the play. What do you think you did wrong, right? What do you think you did wrong? right? That's the approach they took. And it could work for some people, but like there was never really any adapting to, hey, this might not work for this person, right? It almost kind of felt like they did a one size fits all for all the players there. And to be real with you, if you're not a chameleon, if you're not a people person, if you're not a person that can adapt to different personalities, you probably shouldn't be in this role. Because guess what? There's 53 men, all different personalities, all different learning habits, all different ways of learning and just in general, right? If you want to be a person that succeeds at the level that Sean McVay and all the other top coaches out there, a trait that you need to have, and take notes if you ever want to become a supervisor or a manager in your respected job, because you need to be able to adapt to that type of personality whenever you're meeting with Joe, Jake, Steven, Brittany. I'm just naming some names, right? Everybody learns differently. Everybody learns differently. So I, whatever it takes, I just want to see how this all unfolds. One thing we know right now is that we're meeting him tomorrow. He's flying in tonight. So if he's flying in tonight into Sky Harbor and he's meeting him tomorrow for a second interview, well, this is the very first second interview that we've heard. This might be a realistic thing, right? This might be a realistic thing here. But yeah, you need to be able to adapt to everybody you speak with. That's what makes a leader a leader. Not the who's the loudest in the room. Some people don't adapt to that. Some people don't accept yelling very likely. You got to be able to talk to every single person. You got to be a chameleon. That's what you got to be. That's what makes a leader a leader. Trey in the chat says, I also think with McCarthy, Kyler Murray would be able to fulfill everything we thought he would be. This is the second McCarthy comment I'm seeing here. Trey in the chat says, Mike McCarthy, he would bring status and maybe the rest of the football world would take notice of us. I mean, that's a fair point. Also, keep in mind that I don't know if you guys remember, because I don't really 100% remember. What was the hype with Liam Cohen? What was the hype with Mike McDonald, right? We knew the hype around Ben Johnson. Everybody wanted Ben Johnson. The Bears were ecstatic when they got Ben Johnson, right? But what was the hype around Mike McDonald? What was the hype around Liam Cohen, right? Sometimes it can take a guy that just needs an opportunity, right? Sometimes it can take that. Now, yes, I know more times than not, it hasn't worked out for us. So for the people that are like, no, I don't want that, I understand it. I get their points of view, because it's the definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. I get that. But on the other side of the coin, nobody wants us. And it feels like nobody with experience out there wants us, right? The only one that I see right now with experience that is like, okay, right? The only report is probably Raheem Morris and maybe Vance Joseph because of the links with him and Bidwell. But it doesn't feel like anybody wants us right now. So I'm actually curious. This is the second time or the third time I'm seeing Mike McCarthy's name in here. I also don't want to fall in love with the name just because he's a name, right? I know he's got a Super Bowl winning year under his belt with Rodgers and Green Bay, and he actually did pretty solid with the Cowboys, right? But I also don't want to fall in love with the name just because the name is somebody we know, right? You never know. Liam Cohen is now a name, right? Nobody thought Liam Cohen was going to be a name. He's a name. Mike McDonald, what the hell? Where did he come from? Well, obviously, we know because he's within the division. But I don't remember a big hype around him. I know there's some people that are like, oh, that's a really good coach. That was a good hiring from the Seahawks. But it was an underrated hiring in my mind. I was like, okay, cool. I mean, it is what it is. But they got it right. They got it right. So, latest guy right now that the Arizona Cardinals have reached out to. And they're going to meet for the second time tomorrow. Now, this is the updated list with every single person, every single coach we've either reached out to or had some sort of communication with. This is it. I do have a little bit of a color code. I got some people crossed out as well. I will be putting Anthony Campanile probably under the Clint Kubiak and Mike LaFleur kind of color code, right? But Anthony Weaver, I feel like he's going to have a DC job or maybe a head coaching job. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be that team. Jesse Minter, same situation with him. He's going to be at DC somewhere, or he might get an opportunity. Thomas Brown, not really worried too much. I don't think that's really going to happen. Matt Nagy, not really. Arthur Smith, heck no. And then Matt Burke, with the exception of just hearing like that we requested an interview, there was not really much movement after the whole Matt Burke information news that came out. So for what it's worth, there's that, right? All right. Now let's move on to what I wanted to talk about. Jordan Schultz. Let's talk about it, shall we? Jordan Schultz came onto X/Twitter, and he's kind of a podcast format. I think he actually works with Fanatics, so he's doing his best to obviously keep everybody in the loop with everything that he's hearing in the social media world, right? Or I'm sorry, the football world, not social media, the NFL football world. So I want to go ahead and do a real quick sharing of my screen. And I want to get a gauge on what your guys' overall thoughts on this, because although we kind of already knew this as Cardinal fans, it almost, I guess, re-emphasizes the fact that this guy knows what executives are saying. Not all of them, but he's got sources. Obviously, he breaks news left and right. But this is what he had to say about the Cardinals have had a quiet and secretive search, but I'm not anticipating anything splashy out of them. Let's see what Jordan Schultz had to say. It's a 1-minute clip, so let's dive into it.
Cardinals are probably the least talked about opening, and the one thing people have told me is that they're going to have a hard time attracting a top-tier coaching candidate because history has shown they haven't spent big money on coaches. Jonathan Gannon was in the bottom tier of coaching salaries during his 3 seasons. So if Arizona wants a big fish or even a coveted up-and-coming coach, they're going to have a tough time unless ownership really steps up, which of now is unclear. That's why I never expected this to be a John Harbaugh destination. And that's a tough thing to tell a fan base, that the organization is not going to spend top dollar when you're going up against McVay, Shanahan, and McDonald 6 times a year. But that's just how they're viewed right now. It's a 3-14 team with no clear plan at quarterback, and their division had 3 playoff teams, including the final 2 in the NFC right now. That's not an easy job at all. But someone will take it because it's 1 of 32. I just don't anticipate anything splashy in the desert.
So there is Jordan Schultz, worked with, I believe it was Bleacher Report, but I think he's actually working with Fanatics right now. At least that's what I see. The emblem up there is calling it the Schultz Report, right? Giving us updates on what he's been hearing, and what he's saying is that he doesn't expect anything splashy, right? So what's splashy to you? What's splashy to me? Well, Mike McDermott is splashy, right? Heck, even the people that are in the chat that are saying Mike McCarthy, that seems a little splashy to me as well. With what I'm hearing from him in that clip, I think the Cardinals right now are having a very tough time trying to attract those veteran coaches because of the unknown at quarterback, the stigma of Michael Bidwell doesn't like to pay guys. Because guess what? Like, if Michael Bidwell truly wanted to win, and let's be real, and had all the bankroll that a lot of these other owners do, like New York, he would have probably brought in Sean Payton when he was in the building and he took him for a steak dinner, right? He probably would have done that. He didn't, right? He didn't. Whether it's because he couldn't afford him or whether it's because he wanted to move off of Kyler. Whatever the situation is or whatever you think, it didn't happen, right? He went to Wally World's money in Denver, and now we're talking about him going to the AFC Conference Championship versus the Patriots. Now, unfortunately, Bo Nix got hurt, so nobody's really expecting a lot of Sean Payton. But if there's a coach out there that could probably give fits to the Mike Vrabel-led Patriots, it's going to be Sean Payton as a coach. And that's the thing. If the Cardinals did something like that, then you would be a little bit more enticed. But look at the coaches that the Cardinals have hired in history, right? Look at the coaches that the Cardinals have hired in the last 10 years. Bruce Arians, which was not, it was over 10 years ago, but still, it's within the 10 years that I'm talking about, right? We had Bruce Arians, Steve Wilkes, Cliff Kingsbury, Jonathan Gannon, and now, because Bruce Arians, although we love Uncle Bruce, he wasn't known as, oh man, this is a home run, right? Maybe football dudes at the time, probably they knew that was going to be a really good pickup for the Cardinals, but I don't think the expectation was that much. And on top of that, he was the last hire, if I can remember correctly. So That's what Jordan Schultz has to say, right? So I'm seeing people kind of throw names here in the chat, and I get it, right? Either it's McCarthy. We got Naheem says Shula would be nice, right? Got somebody saying Vance Joseph. Whatever the Cardinals decide, it's probably going to happen here pretty soon. It's probably going to be happening here pretty soon. Zay in the chat says Brian Flores just signed an extension. I don't think he has much interest. Did he? Let's do a real quick refreshing of my screen here. That's actually very shocking to me. Yes, you're right. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, everybody and their mother, all these big time reporters are saying this. Let's go with Tom Pelissero's. The Vikings have signed defensive coordinator Brian Flores to a new contract, sources tell me in Rap Sheet. Flores is still a candidate with the Steelers and the Ravens head coaching job, but if he doesn't land one of those, he'll stay in Minnesota. I think what he's doing right now, I think he's just making sure that he's got stability right now. I wouldn't say that there's no interest. I just think that the Steelers and Ravens right now, they don't know. I think they're trying to see if McDermott is going to be into one of them too. I think that's what's happening right now. I think McDermott has really thrown a wrench into a lot of these big time, big name organizations right now. And I think this is the cause and why we're seeing that. I think Brian Flores does have interest primarily with the, obviously the Steelers and the, with the Steelers and the Ravens, right? I think he's got interest. I think he's just basically looking out for himself because he signed an extension, but if he gets a head coaching job, obviously he's going to take that one over, right? But I think right now with the McDermott situation that we're living in right now, you got three teams that are seen as very, very good jobs. Baltimore and Baltimore and the and Lamar Jackson, Steelers, obviously a winning organization. I'm curious to figure out how they do without Mike Tomlin. And then Josh Allen and the Bills, right? But I really do think that, obviously, McDermott's not going back with the Bills. We know that. But I'm just saying the McDermott situation is really throwing a wrench in a lot of these big, big name organizations. And I think that's the result why we're seeing Flores do what he's doing. I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit, though. Sorry, I thought I saw something. I didn't. It's fake. Also, we also got to realize we can't just retweet everything, ladies and gentlemen. There's some people out there that I actually do follow, and people are retweeting things that aren't true. You got to make sure you look at the source, ladies and gentlemen, and making sure that it's Ian Rappaport and not Ian Schmappaport or Ian Rappaport. It's Rappaport, right? So you got to make sure that you actually click on it before you start sharing some news because I just saw something that what's his name? Sorry, it's the coach that we interviewed too. Jesse Minter. I saw something out there, a fake report that Jesse Minter got hired, but he didn't. Let me just double check. No, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. So, okay. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. All right, let's keep the conversation going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go with John. What's up, John? We are not... Where'd it go? Wow, where did that comment go? Oh, here we go. We are not above the Browns. Yeah, honestly, I think we're right where the Browns are, to be honest with you. If you want to say we're under the Browns, that's fine, right? But yeah, we're not. Yeah, people are looking at us like we're at the bottom. If you want to call us tied with the Browns, then that's fine. But even the Raiders have more interest in the Cardinals right now. Biggest reason is because you got the first overall pick, right? Fernando Mendoza. Oh, that's exciting, right? And it gives you at least 2 years, 3 years. You never know, man. You never know what's going to happen with the Cardinals. The Cardinals aren't known as stability. But if you bring in somebody like an Anthony Campanile, then maybe something does happen. But we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. We got another super chat coming our way. This time it's from David. What's up, David? Appreciate you. He's saying this: outside the Steelers organization, their roster sucks. I mean, they got some really good defensive pieces. I mean, yeah, I'm not thinking about their running back situation's kind of meh. DK Metcalf is pretty solid, but he's been dropping a lot of freaking balls recently. There's a lot of unknown at quarterback. I mean, it is just a name. Let's be real. It is a name, the Steelers, and they're known as obviously the Mike Tomlin of the Steelers. That's why I'm very curious to figure out if that changes in this next year without Mike Tomlin there, because it's not always greener on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. It's not always greener on the other side at all. At all. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. But yeah, I find that pretty fascinating. Thanks for letting me know about that, Zay, though. I did not know that. Zay, appreciate you for letting me know that, yes, indeed, Brian Flores is signing a new contract with the Vikings. Good for him. Take care of yourself. Make sure you have a job in case things go awry. You never know, man. You never know what's going to happen. Looney Bird said Jets are worse. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm talking about in this market, right? If Aaron Glenn got fired, yeah, obviously, I think I would put us over the Jets in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. But it's also national perception, right? It's national perception is what it is. We don't think we're the worst ones because we're a little biased. We're Cardinal fans at the end of the day. We look at our roster and you say, okay, well, you got Wilson, you got McBride, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. as your two. If James Conner comes back, if he doesn't, maybe you bring Breece Hall. You fix up the line. You get some people on the offensive, on the defensive side of the defensive side of the ball. If you want to draft Bain, if you want to go after Francis Mauigoa, if you want to go after a different, we got pieces on this roster. It's not like we're booty cheeks, right? It's not like we are. I would put us over the Jets too. I'll put us over the Jets too. That's why I still feel like if there was an organization that we could move on our current quarterback right now to, it's probably going to be the Jets. If there was an organization that we could potentially move this current quarterback, I would say it probably would be the Jets. But just saying. Who are your top 3 quarterbacks draft prospect for us? Oh, we'll get to that, man. We'll get to that once we get close to the draft, because it's changing, man. You never know. Like right now in January, in April, it's so different because it depends on who declares. It depends on combine, pro days, right? It depends. There's a lot of factors. The only thing I can say right now that I'm comfortable saying is that Fernando Mendoza will be the first overall pick. Am I saying he's the best quarterback? Well, with what I'm seeing and what he accomplished in college, yeah, you could say he's the best quarterback coming out of college. But right now, TBD, we'll put a pin on that one for now. Let's go Life of Sky. What's up, Life of Sky? Saying, I would be interested in bringing in Thomas Brown in as an OC and either Kubiak, Michael Floor, or Joe Brady. But Sean seems like a pipe dream. Yeah, no, the McDermott situation, I would tell you that it is probably a pipe dream. And it sucks. It really does. Because you would hope that an organization would be able to get you an established coach, right? You would hope that this organization would be able to do that. But the circumstances are the circumstances, man. The Arizona Cardinals aren't that organization, unfortunately. It is what it is, right? But I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Let's see if there's any other news. I'm not sure if you guys heard this or watched my latest video, but Mike McDaniel is no longer available as an OC as well. He's accepted a position at the LA Chargers, and I believe that's finalized. If not, it was very close to being finalized. So there's that as well. But yeah, man, we're a couple pieces away. We'll be all right. We'll live. We got Rick in the chat. Oh, we got Rick in the chat says, "Let's go Browns. Y'all suck." Sheesh. Turn the switch on us real quick there, Rick. Yikes. Aaliyah in the chat says, we're the Cleveland Browns and we and we like to sheesh. I guess everybody's going ham in the chat right now. Yikes. I'll leave that to you guys fight. That's fine. Victor in the chat says no one wants to come to the desert. Coaches don't last long in Arizona. Got to start over and release Monty. Hire Arians as a general manager and let him build. Ooh. That's the first time I heard somebody say hire Arians as a GM. So and honestly, that sounds actually pretty cool. I would love Arians to be a part of this organization. What happened with Arians was a travesty, man. It's unfortunate what happened with Arians, honestly. It sucks. It sucks. John in the chat says, I just realized he had a Cardinals profile. Yeah, Rick is a Cardinals fan. At least I thought he was. Unless Rick over here is just wilding, man. Unless Rick's over here wilding. Unless Rick's over here just wilding. I thought Rick was a Cardinal fan. I guess not. It is what it is. Zay in the chat says, Kubiak. Well, let me ask you this. Who's available next week? Who's available? Kubiak or Shula and McFleur? I keep calling him McFleur. Mike LaFleur. It's the damn M. McFleur. I'm acting like I'm ordering a damn McDouble or something. LaFleur. Mike LaFleur. So who do you think is going to be available next week? Shula and Mike LaFleur? Or do you think it's going to be Kubiak? It's a big question, man. Big question. I feel like we actually, I don't know. I think the Seahawks are going to win that game. I think the Seahawks are going to win, man. And I'm not really good at picking. I'm actually very terrible at picking. But I think the Seahawks might win that game. They're probably going to upset the Rams. And the other reason why I say upset, because everybody's got a lot of like good things to say about the Rams and the MVP Stafford, that nobody wants to think about Sam Darnold going to the Super Bowl because, like, you know, we think of seeing ghosts, but what he's doing, he doesn't have to do very much. That's the crazy thing in this whole situation. Catalyst in the chat says McFlurry. Yikes. So McFlurry will be available. That's fair. Appreciate you, Catalyst. So Zay in the chat says, you think Kubiak's going to be available next week? Okay. So you're inferring that the Rams are going to win. All right. Mike McFlurry. Okay, I'm done with y'all, man. I'm done with y'all. Can't say nothing up in this chat. Mike McFlurry. I'm done with y'all, man. Sheesh. Can't say a damn thing in this chat. Just kidding. Much love. Let's go with David here in the super chat. My goodness. All right. David, save me. Save me from myself, Mike McFlurry. All right. Appreciate you, David. Thank you so very much. $1.99 donation. All right. Give your next prediction for these teams' new head coaches. Oh, man. Putting me on the spot there. Okay. Let's try it. And I'm trying to take my bias out. Right? I think Flores is going to land one of these jobs. I think Flores is going to land the Ravens or the Steelers. And if he goes to the Steelers, I think McDermott's going to land on the other one. So I think McDermott will land either the Baltimore Ravens or the Steelers, or vice versa to Brian Flores. That's how I feel like those two are going to be established. I somehow feel like the Bills are going to do something wild. Like, I feel like the Bills are going to do something out of left park, either like Joe Brady or somebody internally. I don't know. I feel like they're just going to do something freaking weird. I don't know. I don't really have a name. It's so early right now with the Bills that it's so hard to know what's going to happen with the Bills. The Browns, Mike McDaniel would have been the smart move, but he pulled his name out. What is that? Who was the guy that was connected to the Browns? It was that older guy. What was? Let's see. Schwartz. Jim Schwartz. I don't know. I feel like it might be Schwartz. I think it might be Schwartz for the Browns. And like I said, I'm just guessing at this point. It's all just guessing. Raiders, this might break people's hearts. But I think Kubiak goes to the Raiders. Cardinals, either Shula, Mike LaFleur, or Anthony Campanile. I don't know. I just have a feeling that we're going to get another heartbreak with Kubiak. If Kubiak becomes available next week, I feel like we're just going to get another heartbreak. That's my prediction. It's probably going to be 110% wrong, but you wanted a prediction. There we go. Appreciate you, David. Thank you so very much for the $1.99 donation. Rick in the chat says, you guys get Joseph. Stop. Cut it out. We ain't getting Joseph. Rick Anderson, Rick, you gotta stop changing your profile picture, man. You gotta stop. It's weird because I see Rick's on YouTube as the Browns. I see Rick on YouTube as the Browns, but if you pull him up here, it's an Arizona Cardinal logo. So, Rick, you got some splaining to do, my guy. You got some splaining to do. On YouTube, you have your Browns, Avi. When I pull you up here, you got your Cardinals, Avi. Make up your mind there, Rick. Make up your mind there, Rick. Chess King in the chat says hire Campanile. Got the Italian flag up in there. Love to see it. Love to see it. Hire Coach Camp right now. That's the thing. I would love to say Kubiak to the Cardinals. I would love to say that. I would love it. It's just I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. Gilbug with a channel membership. Let's go. New channel member. Thank you so very much, Gilbug. Appreciate you. Just became a member of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Let's get the DJ air horn. Let's go. Appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. Let's go with Bart. Bart in the chat says, why don't the Cardinals go out and try to get Pete Carroll? Oh, God, no. Yeah, no, I'm good. Seahawks fans didn't want Pete Carroll at the end of it all. And Pete Carroll was a one-and-done coach in the Raiders. Kind of perfect example of what I was talking about a little earlier. Sometimes the big names don't really get you as far as you would want them to get you. But for what it's worth, yeah, I'm good on him. I'm talking about Pete Carroll. I'm good on him. But appreciate the comment. Again, another shout out here to Gilbug. Thank you so very much. We got John in the chat saying Flores wanted the AZ job, I thought. What do you think about him? I love Flores. I really do. I like Flores. I think Flores is a potential good option here. But the Cardinals haven't reached out to him in this cycle. Last cycle, we did. But, yeah, I mean, but we'll see. We'll see. Right now, there's no interest, or at least no reported interest in him right now. Zay in the chat said, would also love Tomlin, but think he's going to the media. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, right now, Tomlin's just living his best life right now, man. That's what it feels like. Tomlin's living his best life right now. Robert in the chat says, Raheem Morris comes with the staff. That's true, too. I think we are getting a little excited because of, obviously, the clip that's floating around with Campanile, and rightfully so. Man, looks like a hard-nosed Italian East Coast mentality. A little Rocky Balboa-ish, Sylvester Stallone-ish. And I do believe a little bit of that instance, right? Where probably fall in love with that. But if Raheem Morris comes here, I'm cool with it as well. I mean, Raheem Morris seems to be waiting for what we're going to do here. Because I think once Raheem Morris sees that the Cardinals are either going with him or somebody else, he's probably going to be accepting some DC jobs. I think Commanders, 49ers, I think was it Green Bay was the last one? I don't remember. But there was 3 teams that were looking at him as a DC. So he's going to get a DC job, no doubt. Rick in the chat. Again, I got you here, Rick. Stop acting like you're not a Cardinals fan, my guy. Stop acting like you're not a Cardinals fan, my guy. All right. Let's do this. Did we get some more super chat? No, you did. Okay. I already read those. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure I did not skip any super chats. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're probably going to close up shop right here. I want to thank every single one of you guys for tuning in. Every single one of you guys. You guys are all the real MVP. John, Naeem, Rick, all of your flip-flopping on me. Victor, Trey, Chief Early Bird, Zay, all y'all, everybody who's super chatted, David, Jake, Looney Bird, Jose, all y'all, thank you so very much for tuning in. As always, we're all going to be closing up shop right here. I wanted to make sure that we got in our podcast today. It's supposed to be in the morning. Didn't get a chance to quite do it yet, but we're going to make sure we close up shop right here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to listen to it one more time. I don't care. We're going to listen to it one more time.
All understand what's happening. Okay, we're all speaking the same language, right? We might not be able to communicate, but if somebody get their ass kicked, nothing's lost in translation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you all for tuning in. We're going to be closing up shop right here. I want to thank every single one of you again for tuning in. If you guys haven't already, smack the like button. Do that favor for me. Smack the like button. We're out. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Go Cards. Later.